What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another account progression video. Alright, so it's time to get another tier 2, and we're going to be tier 2ing Quasar today. So I've had quite a bit of fun playing Quasar. She's actually a pretty fun character. I like her skill animations. So it is finally time to get her tier 2 since I did get her gears maxed out. So let's go ahead and take a look at her skills here. So you don't really have to level up any of her skills because none of them really give her any bonus effects, so there's nothing to worry about there. She has a pretty nice passive though, because she creates a shield with 50% of her HP, and that's when hit, so it's always going to activate when you're hit, so every 6 seconds you can have a shield for 2 seconds. So, I mean, it's nice because it can block some big hits if you're going to get hit pretty hard, so that can be useful probably in Timeline and things like Alliance Conquest, because it just gives her a little extra survivability. But what we're going to be doing today is looking at this tier 2. So her tier 2 gives her a little bit of extra damage, so she gets 25% increased skill damage, 15% bonus damage, so not too big there on the percentages, only 25 and 15, that could have been better. But then she gets some she gets some guaranteed dodge, and she gets 30% of it, so I do like that. That's really going to help her survivability, especially since she does have a good amount of iframes and also the immunity on her third skill, but they don't quite fully link together, so having that extra dodge right there should help on the downtime in between the skills when you're trying to switch from iframe to damage immunity, or when you're just trying to kite around and wait for the skills to come back off of cooldown. So that'll be nice to have. I have Power the Angry Hulk on her. I do like an attack base set on her because she does have pretty good DPS actually. She has decent DPS, and her survivability, like I said, is pretty good as well, just because she does have multiple iframes and that damage immunity. And then for her Obelisk, I gave her a guard break, crit damage with a damage proc, or crit damage with a damage proc. And I really like this Obelisk on her actually. The damage proc is pretty nice, especially if you get it on her 4th or 5th skill, because you can crank out some pretty good DPS that way. And then she definitely needs, though, that immune to guard break, because she can get her skills cancelled quite easily. So definitely that immune to guard break does come in handy, especially for PvP scenarios. You could play around it, of course, in PvE scenarios, so don't necessarily need the guard break for that, but it definitely still comes in handy. So now let's get on to the main event here and go ahead and advance her to tier 2. So we're going to be using a ticket on her, of course. Let's go ahead and pop this open here. Alright, so yes, I would like to advance her. And boom, there we go. Tier 2 Quasar. Power of the Quantum Bands. That's awesome. Alright, so go ahead and share this. Quite happy to have her added to my tier 2 roster. So we have Awakened Savior. Alright, sweet. So now that she is freshly tier 2, let's go ahead and try her out a little bit. Right, so here we are at today's preferred world boss. We have Infinity Thanos, and I'm going to go ahead and use this team here. We have Hyperion for the leadership, and then we have Captain America for the team-up bonuses. So we have Cosmic Heroes, which gives max HP and energy attack. We have the Supreme Rivalry, which gives us basically some all-defense. And then we have the Advice from a Captain, which is energy attack and ignore defense. So I quite like this team here. It gives her some nice team-up bonuses. And now we'll go ahead and jump in. We just have some damage strikers going on here because she... I don't think she'll need the help for Infinity Thanos, but just to make it a little smoother, since he will be able to debuff her guard... the Obelisk guard immunity, so it makes it a little more difficult for her, but we should be okay. So let's go ahead and hop in and see how she can do. Alright, here we go. Let's switch up. Ooh, forgot how much laggier my phone plays the game compared to my iPad. Gotta let it catch up here a little bit. There we go. Alright, get that damage proc going on the 4th skill, which is really nice. And then I think it was, yeah, the 2nd skill does have a partial iframe on it. So it has an iframe right at the start of the skill, but then it finishes without an iframe, so you kind of need to be careful about that. And then I like to try to save the the third skill for when I see him doing an attack, and I can just pop that to block the damage if I need to. Alright, so far so good. Alright, he's going into his last phase already. Go ahead and switch out here. Yeah, I keep forgetting that's not a full iframe, doesn't really get me out of harm's way. Alright, let's pop that damage immunity. Oh, I didn't need to pop that there because I didn't notice he was doing one of his buffs. Oh, he went into the meteors, I didn't even notice. Run! Run, Quasar, run! Alright, so yep, it's going pretty smoothly for her. Like I said, you do have to kite around a little bit, but she does have a lot of tools to stay alive, because the iframe on her fourth skill is quite long, and then the damage immunity on her third skill is really nice, and of course the fifth skill has an iframe as well. And then if you need to, you can pop the second skill for kind of like a brief immediate iframe. So if you have like your fifth and fourth skill on cooldown, you can use the second skill to kind of knock him out of his meteor drop if you notice he's about to do that, because it is an immediate iframe right away. But that was a nice easy clear for her. I didn't really, I guess, need to use the strikers there. I just kind of wanted to make sure it went smoothly, because her damage would definitely be high enough, even without strikers, to be able to clear Infinity Thanos here. And as you can see, her survivability was quite decent as well. You just need to make sure that you rotate your skills around. Usually I like to do the fifth skill, and then I pop into the fourth skill right after the fifth skill is done, because you create a little bit of distance at the end of the fifth skill, so you can just kind of use the fourth skill from wherever you are, because it does have a bit of range, and then you are a little bit further away from Thanos so that he doesn't immediately hit you when the fourth skill is done. And then I'll usually kite around a little bit to give the fifth skill some time, and then if I see him about to use an attack, I just pop the third skill for that damage immunity, and she is pretty safe. But you can get into a little bit of trouble if you use the fourth, fifth, and third skill kind of like consecutively, like right in a row, because then they'll all be on cooldown for a little bit, and you'll have about 2 seconds where none of them will be available, and you can usually get punished pretty hard by a world boss if they hit you between those skills. Because she is kind of squishy when her passive isn't active, so if she has HP shield, then she does okay, but as soon as that is gone, she can be quite squishy and die pretty quickly. But anyway, that was just a look at Quasar here. Again, I'm very happy to add her to my tier 2 roster. She's a very fun character to use, and I really like her animations. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.